Welcome back everyone. Today we are doing another unusual video and it is why you should unplug at least once in a while. That is the digital detox that has been talked about so many times. Today we will get into it because it is important to do a bit of a detox once in a while. And that is only because electronics have taken up so much space in our lives, and it's really important that we kind of take the time to enjoy ourselves and live our life instead of only being online and social. We use our PCs, tablets for pretty much everything. If we work somewhere where we have to sit in front of a computer, we also often go home and sit either in front of a computer or perhaps a television or just with your phone. And of course, we live in modern times and we do have technology, so we should use it. It's not like I'm saying you should just lay down your phone and never pick it up again, because we still need these things. That's why we, to some extent, make them. But you should be careful because you can actually get addicted to your phone, to electronics. That's also why it's so important to let kids do something else. Often kids will just be eaten away with. I think we say that in Danish, I'm not sure we say it in English, but nonetheless I will say eaten away with an iPad. They just get it in the hand. Please go over there, look at the iPad, listen to something, watch something, and later when they get their own PC, their own phones, they can be so hard to actually get away from it. And we get that too. I get that too. I use way too much time online and I know it. I also work with it in my free time. I like writing stuff. I like, doing this with you. So I do use a lot of time online, and I really have to tell myself to get away from it once in a while to do something else, though it can be really hard. That's just how it is. And as I said before, you can actually get addicted to this, and I have some numbers for you. I'd like to pull them up on the screen here, and I will also leave a link down below. It is to the website statista.com. I'll put the link, as I said, in the description, but they have made quite a few of discoveries when looking at how much people use their social media and their internet devices. And an average person uses 145 minutes a day only on social media. That is more than 2 hours daily on, I don't even know, Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, it's kind of baffling that we use so much time. I mean, how much could you do in 2 hours just? And they have counted and looked at the numbers, and an average person also uses 25.1 hours a week online. That's more than 1 day in 1 week. So it's actually almost 2 whole months out of a year you use just being online. And of course we have to do it sometimes. If we work with it, we kind of have to be online every single day. We have to answer messages, we have to look people not in the eye but through a screen. And especially in COVID, we have to use it even more because we have to talk with people and we can't just get to them. And it just scares my socks off to know that we use the internet so much that it's just the fact that it's more than a month, but closer to 2. It's just really scary to me to think that we use so much time online. And though I know it can be building friendships, I know you can play with a friend online, I just feel like it's a lot of time, and I just start thinking, what could I have done instead? So I'm not holy. I still use the internet way too much. I'm too much online. I love playing on my computer. I love writing, watching videos. I love watching television. So it's not like I'm holy or anything, but just knowing that you spend too much time is kind of a nice way to start cutting it a bit out. And I have written down for you some things that you might experience when you use too much time online, so you can just listen or think about if this might be you. But let's just get into all the things you might experience when you use a lot of time online. First off, you stress your brain out. Being online almost 24/7 can be really hard on the brain, especially if you work online. If you use your time either in school or at work looking at a computer can end up signaling to your brain that we have to work. So it can be really hard to relax when looking at the screen if you're used to working on that device. So when you get home, be sure to take some time off, not necessarily just from your computer, but just make sure you get away from your work and you don't just sit with it, sit in it. You have to get away from it when you actually have the time to not work. You do not need to seek it out. You don't have enough time. Time seems to just fly by whenever you are online, and suddenly 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours have passed and you don't really know what you did. Of course, a lot of time can be used if you watch a movie and then you clearly know what you did. But just scrolling and scrolling on social media, what do you get out of it? So all this time that you use here, what could you have used it for instead? Just try thinking about that. And that's why you don't feel like you have enough time to do what you want to, because we just end up being a scrolling zombie looking through stuff without even thinking about it. Your health declines. And I know this is a bold statement. I'm not saying you will absolutely die because you use your electronics, but sitting in weird or bad postures, sitting all day just hunched over on your desk, looking at a computer can be really straining for your back, your neck, your head, your eyes, your brain. It can be really straining for almost everything. There is a reason that we actually are recommended to stand up once in a while, just take a short walk, get away from it, not just sit for hours and hours in the same place, in the same way. It can be so straining, especially on your eyes, on your brain, if you have to look at something that's small, far away, really blurry, or just too dark. So you really have to think about how you look at things and, well, also why. So remember to have some breaks if possible in the things you do online. Just get up, take a small walk, go outside for a bike ride, or just do some squats, get your energy going. It's also a really good idea to do some yoga if you sit down in front of a screen every single day, because it helps with flexibility and you will stop feeling like your shoulders are sitting up in your ears because you stress your body out by sitting in the same position every day. That's just how it is. So if you do that, you could try out some yoga exercises that might be really beneficial for your body, that could actually really help you. Your mental health declines. And another bold statement, I know. I'm not saying you'll go totally insane while looking at social media, but I guess most of you know what I mean. If we keep on looking, especially at social media, we see other people's lives, we see how great they are, how happy they seem, and how well they seem to be doing. We just start doubting ourselves. Why don't I have such a great life? Why can't I be that happy? And that's the funny thing with social media. It isn't necessarily true. You actually have no idea if what they post is reality or if it's just something they put up for you to see. They might be just as lonely or just as insecure as we get looking at them. So you might end up being really lonely, really jealous, feeling like you're not worth enough when you see how extravagant and perfect other people's life are, especially if we look a lot at celebrities. Yes, they do have more than we have, but it doesn't mean they have a much better life necessarily. So we kind of forget to look at what we have when we're looking at how much everyone else has. Just keep that in mind, and remember to look at yourself too and think it's not so bad. You could probably also make a really cool Instagram profile where everything seems perfect, but you would know that's not how it is. So just keep that in mind when you're scrolling. You might miss special moments. So if you're busy looking at your phone or your PC, you might actually miss some things in your life that you would like to have seen. I'm thinking especially when sitting at dinners, I don't know where it came from, but a lot of people tend to just pull up their phone and look at it, and you kind of miss that connection with the people you spend time with if you always have to check your electronics, always have to look at it, and instead you could be bonding with family and friends. So you really might miss this, not necessarily just special moments, but you might miss bonding or have a harder time doing it if no one really tries to connect with each other. And on the same page, you might get the opposite benefits if you start using just a little less time on your electronics. So you will have less stress, more time, you'll feel better with yourself, have better mental health, and you may really enjoy spending time with people more because you know they take their time to enjoy being with you instead of just kind of being there. And let me set up some ideas for you. So what can you do to make sure you don't just dive into this hole of devices and internet and never come out? What can you actually do? I have some ideas, so I think we should just get into them. The first thing you could do is to have a curfew. And I actually do this sometimes. I wish I did it every day because I can really feel the benefits from it. But I set 1 hour before I go to sleep. I am not allowed to use my phone. I am not allowed to use electronics at all. And that means for me that 1 hour before I need to sleep, I have time to take a shower, make a cup of tea, read a book that I want to read, and just really do something calming and get ready for bed. And this means when I do it many times, when I remember to do it, I sleep better, I sleep faster, and I just overall, I even wake up like earlier. I feel like when I wake up, I'm well rested because I have a good night routine and I have some good habits. So it can really help to just have that curfew and know that you're not allowed to use your electronics. So you might as well just relax and sleep so you can get up and then you can use them. It helps me at least. Delete your social media. I know this one sounds really scary, and you don't have to delete everything. It also counts for apps on your phone. If you use them, but you only use them because you have them and you just scroll or look or don't really enjoy using it, just delete it. It will be better for you because you won't use that time on something that you don't really care that much about. You can actually use your time instead on something you would much rather do. Set a time limit on how much you're allowed to use your electronics or devices daily. Most phones can do this by now, where they set a limit on the apps you use, they set a limit on how long you're supposed to use your phone daily. So they can really help with that, but you can also just set a manual timer if you know you're only allowed to watch movies for 3 hours a day or something. Then you set the timer and you only do that 3 hours a day. You of course have to have quite a bit of discipline to keep this up, but that's what this all is about. You have to have discipline to get into habits. So that's just how it is, but it can really help to set a timer because you know, okay, I am not allowed any more time on this, so what should I do now? Play a board game. I'm getting more and more into this, and sometimes I really feel like playing board games, sometimes I just really don't wanna, but I always end up enjoying it whenever I choose to do it. And instead of playing online with your friends or talking with them online, it is possible to meet up with them just to play a board game. That's what the Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game has been for I don't even know how many years now. It is possible to just meet up and play a board game, and it's actually really cozy. It's really nice. I really like doing this. We do it with a lot of our friends, where if we have a dinner date with them, we always end up playing a game, and it's really nice, and you kind of bond with people in another way. And I think you can probably imagine how, as long as you don't play Monopoly, of course, because that's only splitting families and not mending them. Take a walk. So physically removing yourself from the device and thing you're using may actually be the easiest way to make sure you don't use it. Of course, you don't have to take a walk. You can also go for a bike ride, go to the gym, actually just exercise and get some good routines in. Exercise is never dangerous, or well, it could be, but it doesn't really hurt you if you just take a walk instead of sitting with your phone or with your PC. So it can be really, really beneficial to you to do this. My family loves to go on walks on Saturdays. So if we don't have to work, of course, we will drive somewhere where we know it's nice to take a walk, and then we take the walk. When we are physically removing ourselves from our homes, it's easier to say, okay, we are here, we will use this time because we used time to drive here, now we have to spend this time together. And like that, it's also easier for us somehow to say, okay, if I was home, I would maybe like walk 1.5 kilometers because I don't really want to walk. But if we take the time to drive somewhere, I would be more inclined to walk 5, 6, maybe even 10 kilometers if that's what we ended up doing. Because I know I already took this time out. I'm not using it, doing anything else. I just have to enjoy this time I have with my family. And therefore it's easier to just say, okay, we'll get the most out of it. So we might walk further, we might walk for more time or have more breaks, stop up and just enjoy the nature. And that's what we have done for quite a while. Actually, we had some really great walks. We enjoy looking at the nature, especially when it's blooming, when it's sunny. I can put some pictures up for you. Trust me, we had so many great walks. And we've seen really, really a lot of stuff actually. So it's you can really get something out of it. You should try it. Please exercise. Take up an old hobby or start or dive into a new one. Having a hobby is a really good way to spend your time where you're sure you actually do something. It could be playing board games, it could be sewing or painting. There's a lot of different things you could do as a hobby. Of course, if your hobby includes doing something on the computer, for example, your hobby is gaming, your hobby is drawing on the tablet or making videos, that's completely fine. But for this specific occasion, you should probably try out a new hobby that doesn't involve the electronics. It is actually possible to have multiple hobbies. So if your hobby is online, try to find a new one that might interest you, that is offline, so you don't use as much time on your PC, on your phone, or whatever it might be. Distance yourself from your phone. So physically removing yourself from the thing that you are addicted to or want to use less time with. This is of course pretty hard with a television. Your computer, to some extent you could do this with. You can put it in your bag, in your computer bag, in your school bag, just to get it out of sight. And your phone is perhaps the hardest one to do this with. You can choose to put it in another room. This might also be a good idea when you know you have to sleep, because you can't even just reach out to take it. It is physically away from you, so you do have to sleep. It's really good then, but it can also be used in pretty much any scenario. Just put it in your bag, put it away, give it to someone else. If you give it to someone else and they know you have a problem, then they are more inclined to keep you on your toes. They are not going to just give it to you because you just need to check something. So it might really help a lot. And if you put it away, you also have more time to bond with the people you're actually together with. So at the breaks at school, if you're not looking at your phone, then you kind of have to talk with the people around you. The same at work. The same if you watch a movie with your family. I know this sounds stupid, but a lot of people actually still sit with their phones when watching movies. I know once in a while I check mine if I just, not necessarily if I choose to sit down and watch a movie, but if I'm just sitting and watching something, then I'll find my phone too. And well, the divided attention doesn't really help anywhere. So you might help bond better if you just put the phone away, put the computer away, and just take some time to actually be away. Turn off your notifications. So if you choose to turn off your notifications, you simply use less time on your phone because you're not reminded to look at it all the time. That's really easy. You can do this on all your phones, and you can just choose to keep the messages you get on notifications, so you are notified, of course, if anything happens or anything writes. But for Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, or games you play on your phone, you don't really have to have a notification because it just takes your attention away from what you're actually doing. So if you turn off notifications, you will use less time on your phone. The last thing you could do is to unsubscribe from people who does not do you good. And that means if you are watching a lot of YouTube, if you're here, you probably are if you're watching this video, if you're watching a lot of YouTube, if you are spending a lot of time on social media especially, then make sure the people you follow, the people you watch, the people you listen to are actually doing you good. So unsubscribe from negative people and only stay subscribed to the ones who make you motivated, who make you feel good. It kind of ties in together with the social media usage, that it can kind of make you jealous and depressed and feel bad if you keep on looking at people whose life is just great. You can choose to unsubscribe from those people to just live your life and only look up to and listen to people who make you feel really good. And that's all for social media detox, internet detox, why you should unplug. Just once in a while, you choose yourself what you want to call this. Well, I actually choose because it's my video, but you can choose whatever you want to think about it. And if you like it, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Also, if you have any more ideas of what you could do to get away from the social media, to get away from the internet or all your devices, to just take a break. If you have any ideas, I would love to hear in the comments down below. And if you like this video, you should give it a thumbs up. You can choose to subscribe to stay for future videos, or ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload something. And I just hope you all have a happy life, one day at a time.